why life has never been fair, and why that's the best news you've heard in a long time.
Nobody said life is fair. Why do we want life is fair? I spent many years thinking about that phrase. Agree with you. How do you think about it?
And
Now take it away, Chris.
I'll take it away. These videos are a collaboration. Sourena, who has cerebral palsy, develops the written material, and I present it on camera. You might be unhappy because you think the universe owes you fairness, right? You think it owes you fairness. Well, it doesn't. I mean, gravity's not fair. Weather's not fair. The economy's not fair. Biology's not fair. So the sooner you drop the expectation of fair, the sooner you're going to start winning. So Sourena's going to show you how. Sourena's mom hated the phrase, life's not fair. She thought when you say that, you're actually putting your problems onto someone else's, right? And it's actually a pretty sophisticated take when you think about it. You know, Sourena spent years thinking about his disability and said, that's not fair. And he would run a mental simulation of a parallel universe where he didn't have a disability, and he would daydream and think about what life would be like without all of these extra challenges. And you know what all those hours were worth? Nothing. They were wasted. They didn't move him 1 inch closer to anything that he wanted, right? You know, Sourena wants to make today the day that he makes the case that life is not only not fair, but the expectation of fairness is one of the most expensive beliefs that you can hold, right? He wants to show you exactly how to trade it in for something that actually produces results. Nobody actually wants a fair life. Kind of a funny thing to hear, huh? But think about a truly fair life. Everybody's the same opportunities, same outcomes, same talent distributions. And what would that mean? That everybody would be exactly average. And I don't think that anybody wants that. Why would we be motivated to achieve more, inspired to do great things? So nobody truly wants a fair life, right? The things that make you interesting, your resilience, your perspective, the differences, your drive, those come from your specific circumstances, including the hard ones, right? Your challenges aren't obstacles to your story. They're part of what makes the story worth telling. The fairness weight is just draining you. Waiting for fairness is a full-time psychological job. You've tried to build a case, catalog the injustices, you gather evidence, monitor what others have and what you don't have. It's exhausting work, and it provides absolutely zero forward movement, right? And that's what we're trying to do, right? Move forward, be happy, accomplish amazing things, create success. You know, a distraction's defining feature is that it consumes your resources, your time, your energy, your mental bandwidth, while moving you away from your goals, right? That's what a distraction is. And the fairness narrative is one of the most convincing distractions available because it feels principled, even though it's not. You know, the mental bandwidth you use complaining about unfairness can be used to actually make your situation better. Acknowledge versus excuse. This is an important line to walk, right? This is something Sourena feels very strongly about. Acknowledging challenges is very healthy and useful, right? It gives you accurate info. You know, understanding that certain circumstances are stacked and that some people might have advantages you don't, that's reality, and knowing that is very powerful. But using that reality as a reason you can't move forward, that's an excuse. That's giving your agency away. Right? And your agency is one of the most valuable things that you own and you can control. So you do not want to give that away by means of an excuse. So practice saying yes and, right? That yes and is a great mindset for moving forward in a positive way. Yes, this is challenging, and here's what I'm going to do about it. The scarcity trap. One of the subtle versions of the fairness trap is scarcity thinking. I don't have the right connections. I wasn't born with the right talents. I'm not in the right circumstance. Other people have things I don't. It's the scarcity mindset. Well, Sourena wants you to have an abundancy mindset. You got to think abundantly. Stuff is out there. You just got to find it and you've got to utilize it, right? Because the scarcity trap, disguises itself as self-awareness, right? But it treats your current circumstances as permanent, and they never are. As permanent as things may feel, we have the ability to change those things, right? Connections can be built. Skills can be developed. Creativity grows when you use it and you nurture it, right? The shift from I don't have enough to what don't I have, because I can develop that, is one of the most powerful reframes available. The momentum flip. Here's what happens when you stop waiting for fairness and you start building. In the beginning, you put enormous energy and you see modest results. That's unfortunately just how it goes. It is grinding and it is challenging and it is difficult. And others seem to be moving faster with less effort. right? But momentum builds over time and the effort to ratio shifts. And eventually you become the person that others look at and say, that's not fair. Why can they do that? Right? The tide always turns for people who stay in constant motion. So 3 things that Sourena wants you to walk away with, right? 1, nobody actually wants a fair life. Don't forget that. The challenges are part of your story and they are not a reason to stop writing it. 2, acknowledge your challenges. Don't use them as an excuse. Don't let them become an anchor. Keep your agency, but acknowledge your challenges. That actually gives you power. And 3, what you don't have, you can develop. It's that yes and attitude. Momentum builds once you start moving. So if this landed with you, share it with somebody who needs to hear it. And comment below, what's one story you've been telling yourself about unfairness that you are ready to let go of? If you enjoy this content, make sure that you download Sourena's ebook, 5 Keys to an Amazing Mindset, by clicking on the link in the description. And also, please like, comment, and share.